Hey ho und willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Genshin Impact W21:9. Wenn ihr jetzt erst eingeschaltet habt, oh Gott, ihr kommt gerade wirklich sehr ungünstig, denn in der letzten Episode konnten wir hier im Gefängnis von Fort Meropide hier in Fontaine die geheime oder die verbotene Zone betreten und haben gleich zwei Dinge entdeckt. Damit hat wohl wahrscheinlich keiner erwartet in diesem Sinne, deswegen das zu beschreiben wäre ein bisschen unfair, deswegen schaut euch das in Ruhe selber an, indem ihr hier oben rechts auf das i-Symbol klickt beim YouTube-Player, denn dort kommt ihr auf die Playlist zu Let's Play Genshin Impact und könnt euch nochmal die Folgen in Ruhe anschauen und ja, euch fällt es wahrscheinlich gerade auch auf. Wir befinden uns bei dieser Episode noch bei 4.1. Allerdings solltet ihr auch direkt mal zu Episode 1030, 1031 zurückscrollen, den Archenauftrag mitverfolgen von Fontaine. Denn egal was andere YouTuber, Streamer oder wer auch immer das immer behauptet und rumgeflamed hat in den Kommentaren, behauptet von wegen, ist doch viel zu lang und bla bla bla, kann man nichts machen. Ja, es gibt lange Cutscenes, gerade die erste Verhandlungsepisode mit Lyney und Lynette. Aber der Archenauftrag ist nicht die Hauptstoryline im klassischen Sinne, meiner Meinung nach. Deswegen haben die Leute es wahrscheinlich auch gar nicht verstanden. Die dachten, Archenauftrag zu Ende, okay, fertig und war langweilig oder irgendwie sowas. Erst durch die Nebenmissionen, die wir dann gemacht hatten, hatten wir auch Sachen über Coppelius erfahren. Wir haben nämlich so Notizzettel gefunden, noch ein paar andere Rätsel gelöst. Es gab auch ein Event mit den Spielzeugherstellern der Uhrenmacher. Einer der Brüder hatte nämlich behauptet, ja, siehst du die zwei Menschen? Das ist ein Roboter, komplett Roboter, nichts Menschliches dran und so weiter, was mich ein bisschen gewundert hatte. Allerdings gab es schon zu dieser Zeit Theorien, unter anderem, dass Furina das ganze Land hier in Fontaine neu erschaffen hat und dass das alles Roboter sind. Und jetzt durch den Archenauftrag von 4.1 gab es auch ein, zwei Details, der, ich sag mal so, die Theorie wurde zwar nie bestätigt in diese Richtung, aber es gab einen Hinweis, der in diese Richtung hingehen könnte zumindest. Und das zusammenzufassen ist mittlerweile so aufwendig, ihr müsst wirklich die Folgen gucken. Und ich sage das nicht nur, um Werbung zu machen, sondern tatsächlich, ich glaube, ihr habt sonst kaum einen anderen YouTube-Kanal, der da so detailliert reingeht mit den ganzen Story-Sachen. Und naja, gut, jedenfalls das, was wir in der letzten Episode gemacht haben. Warte, in welche Richtung müssen wir hier? Auf der Karte gerade nicht ganz so eindeutig. Doch, da, okay. Wir hatten ja was gesehen in der letzten Episode und uns... Was ist das? Also Pfeil, Alter. Ich denke so, da hinten leuchtet irgendwas Neues und so, ne? Aber naja, gut. Wir haben ja was gesehen und so weiter und uns wurde ja die Entscheidung überlassen, sollen wir Lyney, Lynette und die anderen davon ja zur Kenntnis setzen oder lieber noch nicht. Und ich bin mal gespannt, wie wir hier jetzt entscheiden werden, ob das geskriptet ist oder ob wir uns tatsächlich darüber entscheiden können. Da unten in die Klinik.
We're back! Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea? How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea? Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Seishween.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations?
Lyney, du siehst jetzt viel besser aus. Hast du dich denn erholt? Denn dafür müsst ihr auch die letzten zwei Folgen geguckt haben, um das zu verstehen.
Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sejuin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fréminet affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Meropide.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's Arlecchino.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Iudex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
Dein Verständnis für das große Ganze ist erstaunlich, Lyney.
You're super smart!
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Wriothesley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Klären to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Wriothesley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Wriothesley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Lyney when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Keine Ursache. Bei Bedarf können wir wieder zusammenarbeiten. Ja, dafür müsst ihr den Arken-Auftrag von 4.0 gesehen haben, um zu verstehen, warum sie jetzt einfach mal so, ja, uns bedanken, also sich bei uns bedanken, denn, ja, der erste Verhandlungsfall von den beiden war zwar gut, doch die Erkenntnisse, die daraus gewonnen haben, waren wirklich düster, aber, naja, wie gesagt.
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aww, the sound of that makes Paimon feel all warm and safe inside.
Was ist das für ein Geräusch?
Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
Okay, Paimon, aber was ist jetzt damit? Also, ja, ist das, was wir hier halt erlebt hatten vorher? Eigentlich nicht, ne? Weil wir wollten doch eigentlich hier reingehen, oder habe ich es falsch verstanden? Naja, Alter, runter, so, okay. Gehen wir zur Kantine, weil auch neuer Real-Life-Tag vergangen ist. Somit kriegen wir wieder neue Essensmarken, oder überhaupt die Marken und mit einem neuen Gericht. Wohlfahrtsmahlzeit, genau so, das war die Formulierung. Da müssen wir auch noch zwischendurch Käffen besuchen. Ich weiß nicht, ob ich das in dieser oder nächsten Episode mache. Und wir müssen halt noch im Auge behalten. Ich denke mal, in 3 oder 4 Episoden werde ich strahlende Ernte in Angriff nehmen, weil hier seht ihr noch einen Tag übrig. Also, ja, ich will das auf jeden Fall auch noch machen. Gibt es natürlich wieder gratis Urgestein, so wie immer. Hier ist eine Truhe. Wieso habe ich die Truhe noch nie gesehen oder habe ich sie immer ignoriert? Weil das Problem ist, ich will ungern hier einfach droppen. Lieber gleiten, weil ich hatte ja schon mal einen Charakter so verloren. So, somit ist es jetzt die 3. oder die 4. Truhe, die wir überhaupt gefunden haben seit 4.1. Naja, aber wir sind auch ganze Zeit hier unten, also kaum kriege ich eine Wohlfahrts... Nein, Mist.
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served in the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler and Paimon, over here. Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin? Mm-hmm. And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Klären's dinner as well. Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria. What would you like to eat?
Hä? Können wir selbst wählen? Vor allem, kann Chlorint eigentlich wählen? Im Sinne von, ich dachte, das wird immer so random ausgegeben. Und vor allem, hat sie Marken?
Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Dann hätte ich gern das köstlichste oder das größte. Ah, nehmen wir das köstlichste.
Me too. Don't forget Paimon. No problem. Just leave it to me. So delicious.
Da kriegt man selbst schon wieder Hunger, ne? Jedenfalls schmeckt gut. Kostenlose Mahlzeiten schmecken immer am besten.
Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Wait a second, we did do plenty of work after all. Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious.
Sehr köstlich, danke. Außerdem Milch. Nein, alles hat gut geschmeckt.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment. Sijwin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister. Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear. Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Lyney and his siblings as well? Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Klären is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Klären left, to make sure that Lyney wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Klären had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Lyney as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought everything through. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nerville would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos.
Das ergibt kaum einen Sinn. Nerville scheint eher ein Bürotyp zu sein. Vor allem, wie sie noch am Gänsen ist, aber...
Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Ja, ich wollte gerade sagen, was ist mit Chlorint eigentlich? Die sitzt da, wird erwähnt und dann passiert nichts mehr. Aber, ach Mann, wo ist das? Essensautomaten, irgendetwas Ding da. Na gut. Sprechen wir mal mit ihr.
Klären!
Ah, it's you two.
How's dinner?
It's all right. Miss Sijwin really put in a lot of effort.
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fréminet too! You sure work super fast!
Oh, it was child's play.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs. Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sijwin and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Miss Sijwin was with you, and the Duke has business of his own.
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Yeah. First time in a long time.
First time in a long time? So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
In the past, yes. You seem to be enjoying yourselves here.
Ja, dank Novilette. Nun, wir sind nur wegen der Arbeit hier. Ja, im Endeffekt ja schon, ne?
Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run around unnecessarily.
Aha. Was erwartet denn uns demnächst? Okay, wo müssen wir hin? Ich vertue mich halt immer so ein bisschen genau, weil es gibt Aufzüge, die gehen halt, sagen wir mal, über 2 Etagen und dann muss man, wenn man die Ebene erreicht hat, dann wieder einen anderen Aufzug nehmen, um eine Ebene tiefer zu gelangen. Kommt jetzt mich das nehmen so. Und wir wurden hier zwar nicht so oft teleportiert wie in manch anderen Teilen von Arkenauftrag und so weiter, aber dann denke ich mir manchmal, ja, wobei, wisst ihr was? Wir können eigentlich die Chance nutzen. Wartet mal, wir müssen erst mal gucken, weil das haben sie ja geändert hier mit 4.1. Wie viel haben wir bereits hier geschafft? Nein, das nicht, Sphären nicht, Missionen. Ah, okay, wir haben noch nicht ready. Okay, gut, dann machen wir erstmal die Missionen. Weil sonst müssen wir die Tagesmission machen, um dann die Belohnung abzuholen. Das geht ja mittlerweile ja anders, dass egal welche Mission, die man macht, dass das dann mitzählt, was ich ehrlich gesagt ein bisschen besser finde. Allerdings müssen wir dringend ich glaube in Liyue gibt es noch eine Tagesmission, die wir freischalten könnten, oder sogar 2. Ich meine, eins davon müsste auch eine Waffe sein. Hatte mir mal auf jeden Fall erzählt. Sumeru haben wir, glaube ich, gar keine Tagesmission noch gemacht, weil da gab es halt so viele Random-Events, dann dachte ich mir, komm, lassen wir die Tagesmission erstmal woanders, weil wir dann Sachen brauchen, Gespenster oder Geisterhöhlen und all diese Dinge. Muss ich auf jeden Fall nachholen irgendwann, nur ich muss sagen, die 4.0-Story ist wirklich spannend. Klar, manche Cutscenes sind halt wirklich ziemlich lang und dass man hin und her teleportiert wird, aber irgendwie ist das schon krass. Und vor allem, ich finde diese Atmosphäre hier ziemlich nice und dass wir auch länger hier zu tun haben und nicht einfach so, ja, sagen wir mal 3, 4 Episoden, dann ist halt Ende, sondern wirklich länger was machen. Da kriegt man schon Bioshock-Feeling auf jeden Fall. Aber naja, gut. Wollen wir jetzt erstmal hier bei Genshin Impact bleiben und gucken, was uns dann die nächsten Tagen erwartet, weil das ist jetzt echt ein bisschen verdächtig gewesen, der Spruch von ihr, fand ich.
Has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Ja, ich bin auch schon müde. Paim ist buchstäblich sofort eingeschlafen. Yep.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Gute Nacht.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Was ist das für ein Geräusch? Paimon, wach auf. Wir müssen raus und sehen, was los ist. Also ist auf jeden Fall was passiert. Haha. Wäre sonst viel zu offensichtlich. Na? Klingt nicht gut.
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey, wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! Yeah, there you are.
Oh, thank goodness.
Quisto and Laveron, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Laveron was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us.
Der Herzog meint, wir sollten nach draußen evakuieren. Oh, hat das was mit den Kernen zu tun, diese verbotene Zone?
Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Dann bedeutet das, dass unten etwas passiert sein muss. Das Erdgeschoss des Fort Meropide. Dort ist die Schleuse.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention, please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Ich krieg gerade hier, wie heißt das? Black Mesa Episode 1, was ich in 5K gelet's played hat, Feeling.
Please evacuate upwards and outwards.
Oh, es ist sogar offen. Perfekt. Schnell, 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 schnell. Sesam, öffne dich.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, two, one.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Fréminet will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Fréminet and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Alles klar, den Rest erklärst du mir später.
Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Uiuiui, dafür müsst ihr etwa 10 Folgen zurückscrollen. Da hatten wir Arlecchino in so einer, oder Arlecchino, wie auch immer, hier in der Cutscene gesehen mit Fréminet. Und Fréminet hat wirklich Angst vor ihr. Dass er, weiß ich nicht, vom Geschlecht, der sieht aus wie eine Frau. Irgendwie wird die immer als Vater bezeichnet, was ein bisschen irritierend ist. Uiuiui, jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Boah, das ist irgendwie schon richtig spannend. Dass das irgendwann durchbricht, war ja klar, aber trotzdem. Ach so, ja, die Security von den allen, ne?
Look, there are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry. Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Fréminet to the best of your abilities.
Wir werden alles geben.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Fréminet mentioned.
Of course, of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
Das ist also Arlecchino, wie auch immer. Das Oberhaupt des Hauses des Kamins und der Vater von Lyney und Lynette. Es scheint nicht einfach zu sein, mit ihr umzugehen. Hallo, freut mich, dich kennenzulernen.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Fréminet and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Fréminet simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Sie sieht ziemlich freundlich aus, aber so einfach kann es nicht sein. Arlecchino ist jemand, mit dem man rechnen muss. Ich sollte besser umsichtig mit ihr umgehen.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
Nicht schlecht, ziemlich lecker. Ich denke, Paim stimmt auch zu.
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Fréminet and I.
Nein, es gibt keinen Grund für Tartaglia, ihr so etwas zu sagen.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Wieso hat sie das gesagt, das mit den Schwimmer? Also ich meine, klar, Fort Meropid ist ja unter Wasser. Und die weiß deutlich mehr, als sie es zugeben will. Aber das ist schon wieder sehr verdächtig gewesen. Naja, jedenfalls, ich glaube an seine Fähigkeiten.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Fréminet sieht ziemlich nervös aus. Zwischen ihr und Arlecchino muss etwas nicht stimmen.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Fréminet. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette.
Über seinen Aufenthaltsort habe ich einige Informationen gefunden.
Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Meropide.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
Oh nein, Paimons Aussage hat uns in eine schlechte Lage gebracht. Ja, weil wir wissen es ja nicht hundertprozentig und wer weiß, ob es einer aus den eigenen Reihen einen Attentäter gibt oder gab, der vielleicht den Graf um die Ecke bringen wollte, wisst ihr? Also, das ist nicht gut, was Paimon gesagt hat. Vielleicht sollte Paimon den Mund halten.
The Fortress of Meropide lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely?
Safely, ja? Nein, wir haben keine Beweise. Es gibt aber auch keine Beweise dafür, dass er verletzt oder getötet wurde.
That is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, Your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house. Is it something like that?
Sie übt immer wieder Druck aus. Ich bin nicht sicher, ob ich sie überzeugen kann. Aber zumindest kann ich versuchen, ihre Aufmerksamkeit von Fréminet auf mich zu lenken. Ja, ich denke, es ist gut, so zu schreiben.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded. Huh?
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Fréminet.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day. This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess, we're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Klären thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Fréminet, as the Hydro-Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro-Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Fréminet verhält sich anders als sonst. Sie weist die Anschuldigung von Arlecchino ernsthaft zurück. Sie meint es ernst und macht diesmal nicht irgendwelche Schau, wie wir sie sonst immer kennen.
Then I ask you, Miss Fréminet, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
Nichts getan? Oder kann sie es uns nicht sagen? Gerade eben war sie noch so überzeugt und zuversichtlich, aber jetzt ließ sie plötzlich die Luft aus ihr heraus wie ein zerplatzter Ballon. Deswegen hatte ich auch einleitend gesagt, ihr solltet auf jeden Fall 4.0 anschauen. Da gibt es ja ein paar Hinweise, Indizen, auch das Event nach dem Arkenauftrag. Es gibt nämlich noch eine Theorie, dass Fréminet dreimal existiert. Einmal sie jetzt, wie wir sie sehen, einmal in diesen Brunnen, der weint, und einmal diese Waage, der dann über die Menschen richtet. Aber ja, das finde ich noch ein bisschen sehr abstrakt. Könnte aber sein, dass es das sogar ist.
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Fréminet, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Fréminet. I first caught wind of this when Lyney tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, Even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro-Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Fréminet, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Fréminet, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone.
Das sind alle Themen, über die ich nicht mitsprechen kann. Ich weiß nicht einmal, was Novilettes Aufgabe ist. Ist er hinuntergegangen, um sich mit den wogenden Urmeer unterhalb von Fort Meropid auseinanderzusetzen? Aber kann er das wirklich alleine bewältigen? Und hat Fréminet die Wahrheit gesagt?
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Fréminet's table, and I was merely catering to Miss Fréminet's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Natürlich.
Paimon's coming too.
Uiuiuiuiuiuiuiuiui. Das wird böse enden, je nachdem. Die wollte bestimmt nur Bestätigungen haben. Und jetzt hat sie wahrscheinlich ihre Antworten. Und das mit dem Graf war auch mit Paimon nicht ganz so sinnvoll, fand ich zumindest. Gut, reden wir mal kurz mit ihr.
The tea party turned out to be even more difficult than I'd imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Is something the matter? If there's nothing urgent, then I shall be retiring for now.
So, gut, reden wir noch mit Arlecchino und bin mal gespannt, was sie noch von uns erfahren wird. So, wir sind hier. Mir gar nicht aufgefallen, ehrlich gesagt. Boah, hier ist auch so viel passiert. Auch der Tauschtrick. Die Waage. Wie gesagt, es gibt halt mehrere Theorien mit Fréminet und so weiter. Wie gesagt, auch bei 4.1 gab es so den einen oder anderen Hinweis, der in die Richtung deuten könnte. Aber ich bin mal gespannt, auch mit der Persönlichkeit, wenn es 3 gibt. Weil es gibt irgendwie eine Andeutung aus irgendeiner Literatur, dass es 3 ist. Irgendwie die Dreieinigkeit, die zusammen halt 1 ergeben. Und sich deswegen so das Gespräch problematisch herausgestellt hatte. Also ich dachte, ich hätte da was noch gesehen.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
Was möchtest du damit sagen?
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude.
Ich hätte nicht erwartet, solche Wörter von dir zu hören.
Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my children.
Hast du noch etwas anderes zu besprechen?
That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meropid. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Lyney, Lynette, and Fréminet are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Lyney.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Lyney's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Fréminet? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Fréminet, the Hydro-Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Fréminet to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydro-Gnosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Fréminet dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Fréminet quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro-Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro-Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Fréminet and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meropide will be a front. Lyney and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Lyney's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You attacked the Hydro-Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Fréminet herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Fréminet. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro-Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either.
Wie bist du zu diesem Schluss gekommen?
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Fréminet, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday.
Neuvillette?
He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Fréminet.
Darf ich fragen, was da unten passiert ist?
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate.
Naja, bei uns ist die Sache so gelaufen.
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Fréminet. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
Darf ich dich etwas fragen?
Permission granted.
Du hast sogar die Macht, das Wasser des Urmeers zurückzudrängen. Bedeutet das, dass du eine tiefere Verbindung zu dem Hydro-Archon hast?
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro-Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Fréminet and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
Was hast du in Fort Meropide gespürt? Ist es dir gelungen, diejenigen zu schützen, die geschützt werden sollten?
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Plötzlich wird der klare Himmel bewölkt. Der Regen beginnt zu fallen und wird immer stärker. Der Nieselregen verwandelt sich bald in einen Wolkenbruch. Und das haben wir bereits mehrfach erlebt und dafür gab es sogar einen Grund. Und kurz zuvor hatte Notfall seiner Trauer Ausdruck verliehen. Das erinnert mich an dieses Kinderlied und an das, was Fréminet sagte. Es heißt, dass einmal ein Hydro-Drache in Fontaine gelebt hat. Jedes Mal, wenn er weint, verdunkelt sich der Himmel und es fängt an zu regnen. Notfall, bist du etwa...
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking?
Er ist der Hydro-Drache.
The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Fréminet?
Notfall, are you listening?
My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meropide? Paimon is a little worried.
Nun gut, dann bis später, Notfall.
We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Uiuiuiuiui, was wir jetzt alles erfahren haben und mit... Warte, Ketzer Gefängnis... Also okay, gut. Was wir alles erfahren haben mit Arlecchino. Keine Ahnung, wie man diesen Namen ausspricht. Und ich will halt nicht den Vater sagen die ganze Zeit. Das war schon... Ja. Wow. Damit habe ich jetzt ehrlich gesagt nicht gerechnet. Ihr habt ja meine Theorie gehört und die Theorie, was ich so gesehen und erlebt und gehört hatte und so weiter. Und naja. Jetzt bin ich mal gespannt, wie das dann weiterlaufen wird, vor allem mit der Mission und so weiter. Nein, ich will nicht klettern. Aber gut, das war jetzt eine lange Episode. Vielleicht hätte ich auch in 2 Episoden teilen können, aber ach, ich lasse das jetzt so. Und naja, wie es dann weitergeht, werdet ihr dann entsprechend in den zukünftigen Episoden sehen und erfahren. Deswegen empfehle ich euch ein Abo dazulassen, denn so könnt ihr nichts mehr verpassen und gleichzeitig supportet ihr mich ziemlich nice hier auf YouTube. Folgt mir auf meinen Social Media Kanälen, die ich ebenfalls verlinkt habe, denn dort poste ich Sachen auch von anderen Spielen. Ansonsten like, dislike, kommentiert meine Videos, Fragen, Anmerkungen, was auch immer. Ich versuche es in der Regel zu beantworten und würde mal sagen, bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.